So, for today's deep dive, we're looking at a sermon from Pastor Sung No at Praise Presbyterian Church in New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
And he takes this story that almost everyone knows, the paralyzed man, his friends, the roof they dig through to get to Jesus.
Right, the classic Sunday school story.
Exactly. But he argues it's actually about property damage and, maybe more importantly, systemic failure.
It's great framing.
Yeah.
He flips it from just being a nice miracle story.
Mhm.
The sermon really sets up this clash between what he calls spiritual paralysis and radical faith.
Okay, so let's set the scene. The room where Jesus is teaching is completely packed.
Wall to wall. You can't get in.
But the sermon points out something really specific about who is packing that room. It wasn't just fans.
No, not at all. He references the parallel passage in Luke, which says the crowd was full of Pharisees and teachers of the law. They'd come from all over.
So the establishment was there.
The religious establishment, yeah. And that just changes the whole dynamic. The wall blocking this suffering man from getting help isn't just a bunch of bodies.
It's authority. It's the system.
Precisely. And that's the massive irony, right? The people who supposedly hold the keys to God are the ones literally blocking the door.
That's the spiritual paralysis you mentioned.
That's it. They're just stuck. They're so busy defending the building, so frozen by tradition, that they've completely forgotten what the building is for. Using the law to keep people out, not to save them.
So for four friends, they have to do something drastic. They don't just go home.
No, they climb up on the roof. And let's be really clear about what this means. They are ripping apart a stranger's house.
I mean, that's vandalism. It's destructive.
It is. It's rude. It's intrusive. It's probably Peter's house they're destroying. But this is where the sermon's definition of faith gets so interesting.
Because Jesus looks up and he sees all this debris falling.
And he doesn't see a lawsuit. He doesn't see a liability issue. The text says he saw their faith.
So faith, in this context, isn't some abstract internal belief.
Not at all. It's the messy, active, roof-breaking willingness to defy social norms for the sake of someone else.
And the pastor connects that back to Jesus himself.
Yeah, he calls Jesus the ultimate roof breaker, the one who eventually smashes the ultimate barrier of sin through the cross to open a way for everyone. So this act of vandalism is actually a model of the gospel.
That's a powerful metaphor. But it's one thing to talk about breaking roofs and another thing to, actually do it when it costs you something.
Well, and that's where the sermon goes next. It pivots from ancient Palestine to a modern church budget.
Right. And this is where it gets really uncomfortable and really practical.
It does. He talks about his own church, Praise Presbyterian. They committed to donating $100,000 over 5 years.
God, to where?
$10,000 a year to the Franklin Township Food Bank and another $10,000 a year to the Somerset YMCA.
But the source material says something pretty shocking about their finances when they made that decision.
It does. They had run a financial deficit the previous year.
So wait, you're in the red, and your response is to give away $100,000? That sounds, like terrible accounting.
On paper, it looks reckless. But the insight from the sermon is that our obsession with security can create that very same paralysis that the Pharisees had.
So hoarding resources to feel safe is just another way of blocking the door. You're building your own roof.
You're building your own roof, exactly. Right. They decided that true abundance isn't what's in your bank account, but your capacity to be a conduit for others. They chose to clear the path, even when the math didn't feel safe.
It really redefines wealth, doesn't it? It's not what you can hold on to, it's what can move through you.
It's all about movement versus paralysis. The leaders were frozen by self-preservation. The friends, in this case the church, they chose movement.
It leaves you with a pretty tough question, though, because we all want to be the heroes on the roof. We want to identify with the friends.
Of course.
But if we're being honest, statistically, most of us are probably part of the crowd or in the house.
That's the uncomfortable truth.
Or worse, maybe we're just the ones inside complaining about the dust falling from the ceiling. It really makes you think. In your own life, are you opening a roof or are you part of the crowd?